sinking, I just felt this warmth come over me. Not a warmth, but almost like a hot flash. Like, I felt like my whole world was going to end. And I literally had like a nervous breakdown. Like, this is when I bought a new house. It was like, $200,000 house, and I was big time, And I had all this debt, and I had little kids, and I hit a wall. I hit a wall. So after hitting that wall, when I got out of all this debt that I could possibly get out of, and I'm slowly crawling out of this hole, and I got to the point where it was either sink or swim. So I had to swim, right? But it was tough. I mean, it was difficult. So I swam and I swam and I swam, and now it's 2018, just starting, and I'm just starting. I mean, I'm telling you, just now, I'm just starting to see where my income can just multiply. I'm seeing it finally that it could really take off. It's like, so we talked about doubling a penny. Mm-hmm. You double a penny for 30 days, it equals like $3 million. Mm-hmm. I'm getting into day 22 and 25 and 26 where doubling that penny now is not just 1 and 2 cents. It's like 300,000. Doubling next year is 600. That's where I am right now. But it's taken, and I'm 50 right now. It's taken that long not to even get there, but I'm just at the beginning of that.
Wow. And that's, I mean, that's, and the reason why we kind of want to do this, guys, is, we hear Alex has fantastic advice that people in this area, come from all around the tri-state area to see. You have people coming from West Virginia, Ohio, the other side of the state, Pennsylvania. You have a lot of people coming to see you just to pick your brain, to get your knowledge. And, a lot of you at home that are listening to us have, whether you're just starting out, whether you're in a rut, I kind of wanted to dive into like different obstacles that you've had and ways you got through them. Because I think, again, another misnomer is that successful people never have the struggle. And I find that laughable because, the people, at least that I know that are successful, that I keep around, typically either had to fight or came from nothing, and now they are successful. And those are the people that I like, because it shows me that the work ethic does pay off. It shows me that, not to get frustrated. You're going to take sometimes a step or two back is 2 or 3 steps forward over time. You just don't see it in that moment. What really kept you on the course? Because it sounds like to me there's a lot of times, especially on the nerves aspect of it, whenever you said like you felt that warmness come over you. I felt that on many occasions.
Oh yeah.
What kind of made you, obviously you were in a sink or swim kind of scenario, but what made you think like, what, I know this is for me, I have to stay the course, instead of just quitting and saying like, I'm going to find something else? What was the mindset of like, no, I know that even it seems like every deck in the world is stacked against me. Mm-hmm. I know this is where I'm going to succeed. Like, is that just something internally, or was it just that moment of clarity of where it was a goal?
I never had like a moment of clarity. Like, it wasn't on or off.
Okay.
It was never like that. In fact, it's not that today. I'll get up some days and I'll say, I'm a failure. I literally feel that when I wake up in the morning.
Which is amazing. I can't.
It's the way the mind works. Right. So the mind can
play games on you.
Can move mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Bible says, it can move mountains. And I truly believe that we are capable of creating universes and moving mountains and whatever. But harnessing that power is, it either harnesses you or you harness it. So it's not like I never had a moment of clarity, as you say, and it just was like, oh, I'm going to make it. And that's it. It's just a struggle every day for me.
Now, is there anything that you would have done differently, or do you look at every...
No, I wouldn't have done it all. No.
Yes.
I never think like that, because if I did, it's like...
opening a wound.
Yeah, it's just digging a hole, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, if I blaming people and saying, I wish I would have done... No. I refuse to let those words come into my head,
I like that.
So, yeah, no, I wouldn't have done anything differently. I just continue to grow as a person and try to do the best I can. That's all you can ask yourself. So, as far as like owning all this real estate that I have, which is minuscule compared to the masses that are owned by a lot of different people and such, it's more of the struggle is really the prize. Mm-hmm. It's the struggle. Without the struggle, it's not. There's
nothing worth working for.
Yeah, it's the struggle, man. So this is kind of good we're having this conversation, because it just helps me to understand that it's not about how much I can amass. It's about the struggle and how many times I can get kicked and pushed to the floor and get back up. That's what it's all about.
See, that actually, I'm glad. My next question was going to be, advice to people that are in that get into those ruts where it's like, you know what, I'm out. This isn't for me. That because we always talk about real estate isn't for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I think that if you're listening to this, chances are real estate is for you, and it is about staying that course. So to hear that and to hear that, listen, just you either know or if it's for you or not, and you know that you're going to have those bad swings. It's just about buffering those bad swings and overcoming the struggle. It's almost like the payoff is the rush that you get when you can overcome an obstacle. Yeah,
that is the payoff, I guess. Breaking through and coming up with a solution.
There you go.
But knowing that the next day could be you can have bad days. They're there. You're going to have them. So sulk while you can, and because I still sulk and I still feel sorry for myself, but allow yourself to do that. But then also don't get stuck there. Mm-hmm. So where I am today is I've been doing this for 25 or so years, right? And I feel like I'm an expert in my little corner of the world, and my little corner is only a small portion of real estate too. I don't do all real estate. There are folks that are well more educated than I am, better at running a business than I am. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, right? So what we do here is, I'm a real estate agent. We have Deacon Hoover Real Estate Advisors, so it's a new company, and we have 9 or 10 agents right now. We're doing quite well. It's wonderful. Ian Hoover's a great partner to have. We started Mace Property Management in 2002, so that's right after I had my meltdown. My wife hated her job so bad. She'd been there forever. She was making a good amount of money with health benefits and everything. She quit. We started the management company. The first 2 years of the management company was in business, we lost $40,000.
Wow.
So she quit her $50,000 a year job to lose $20,000 a year. So we took a big, big hit, right? And this is in the midst of me owning all this real estate that's not making money. I think so I had about 4 or 5 dark years there, So we finally started to make money doing the management thing. It's a very hard business. And right now it's 2018, so 15 years later, we're making a decent living. Like I could probably live off of what we make at the management company. I live fairly comfortable, okay? But I'm not happy with that. Most entrepreneurs aren't happy with, because that's what keeps you going. So we do the management thing. We have a good staff. My daughter works for me, my son-in-law. We have about 6 other people, and it's a great business to have because not only does it help me manage my properties, it helps us manage them more efficiently, and we get to cultivate what we know and help others manage their properties for them. So they're our clients. Then we also, I've partnered up with different partners over the years, and it's real important that, you the listener pick the right partners. So I've picked a lot of partners that are very good people, good friends, just not good partners.
Right.
Lots of them out there. So I have some good partners now, and the key with partners is to know, you got to know what your job description is. What is your role as a partner? Like if you're my partner, Adam, nothing against you. The only reason I'd partner up with you is because if you had money.
Right.
Because you don't have the knowledge.
I have no real estate knowledge, correct.
Now maybe you had a property. I say, Alex, I have this property. I don't know what to do with it. Can you help me? We look at it. We come up with a solution. We nail it. My role would be get out of the way, Adam, and let me make you some money. That would be my role. Your role is I brought the property to you, Alex. It wouldn't have existed without me.
Right.
That's where you need to define your roles, and expectations is real important. Like your expectation may be way in the stratosphere. I might bring you down to here, and if you're still way up in the stratosphere and I'm here, that partnership's not going to work.
Right.
Because the expectations are
totally out
of whack.
Right.
So I have a lot of partners now, and depending on what we're doing, we're buying anywhere from 3 to 6 homes a month. And it sounds like a lot, but to me it's like, it's not really a lot because it's just never enough. Mm-hmm. I was just saying that. I say that a lot, and it's just never enough. You always want more. You always want to push yourself. I don't know where the limit is, but that's where we are now. So
the limit does not exist.
Yeah, there is no limit. It's limitless. You're right. It's limitless. So Just if I could say that to anybody who's starting out, never give up. I mean, you just can't. Allow yourself to have some hard times, but you have to embrace those hard times because that's what makes you harder as a person. That makes you stronger, makes you smarter, and hopefully you just don't keep making the same mistakes, you know?
Right. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Yeah. No, so true. What's the other one? It's either broke is temporary, being poor is temporary, but being broke is something like that.
So yeah, there's a saying behind that too.
But it's temporary, man. It's always temporary. There's always a silver lining in everything that bad that happens to you. Sometimes it's hard to look at that because I just had a friend who had, his son committed suicide. His wife left him. I'm like, where do you find the silver lining there?
Right.
But somewhere there's a silver lining, and if you look at that in one way, it could destroy your life. Mm-hmm. So it's your choice.
It's funny because I was actually just talking to my daughters. Piggyback off that is not to look at the world in a cynical light. Look for the positives. Like, don't look for the negatives immediately. And I think is we tend to look for the negatives. So once we hit a time where we're going to struggle, maybe we're upside down on some properties or whatever the case may be. That's not necessarily, like you said, there is a silver lining. That's when people typically, it's easy in today's day and age to give up, to quit. Too many people do, I think. And I think yours is a story, and why I felt it was important to tell it, is that you've been hit with a lot of roadblocks and a lot of obstacles and a lot of, it hasn't been as smooth sailing as people, I think, have in their mind. And it's good to hear, I think, because obviously it's going to humanize you, that you have struggled like we have all struggled, from time to,
Still struggling. Yeah.
That's
I
just
still
the way
have my
life.
demons. I still wake up doubting myself. But I think that the key to take away from this whole conversation is just never give up. Period. You just can't give up.
And you push through it. And the reason we wanted to do this, guys, is Alex has been doing this for a very long time, and we talk about his accolades all the time. We talk about he brings all the knowledge to the table. I bring a very ignorant mind, so that it works very well. And by ignorant, I just mean there's nothing in there. But nobody ever really got to know you a little bit. And I felt that was necessary just because, Ian Hoover has been doing a fantastic job with the Realtor Nation podcast. He's had some great guests on there, where he gets to talk shop with other real estate agents, some really power players. And we've never really got to hear your side of the story and what kind of motivates you, what keeps you in the game. And I thought this was a great way for you to kind of connect with our listeners that have been coming to you for not only knowledge, but now hopefully for a little bit of inspiration too.
Yeah, this is a great, thank you. This is a great business to get into. There's so many different directions you can go. You could, property management, you can be a real estate agent, you could invest in just a few properties, buy and hold long term for your financial future security. You can flip homes, you can wholesale homes, you could become a lender and lend money to folks who want to buy and flip homes. There's this commercial real estate, industrial, new construction, land development. There's so many different ways to go. Here's where people make a huge mistake, is they go in too many directions. And I find myself doing that too. So if you stay in your lane, you focus, you get really good at that. Then you have more opportunities that come at you, and you can go in some different directions. You can partner up with people who are experts in new construction, but make sure that, again, that's a good partner for you.
Right.
And you can partner up with folks that are into land development, okay? But stay in your lane, know what you know, don't get into what you don't know. Mm-hmm. People want to jump into this and be the next super real estate superstar, and that just doesn't happen. There's a few out there, I guess, that, like Elon Musk or just some of those crazy entrepreneurs that are just seem that everything they touch is amazing.
Right.
But those are the outliers, man. Most people work hard, and they should stay in their lane, get really good at it. Then opportunities come at them. And over time, your REIQ, I call that your real estate IQ, and your business IQ goes up. And you can visualize what's a good deal, what's a good partner, what's a good opportunity, and you can manage the risk and look at the risk versus reward and all that stuff. It's just a great place to be because I see in the future all these opportunities coming at me where I can get into some different stuff.
Mm-hmm. And,
I'm
you're already smiling. So I was going to say, you're already kind of like smiling, so it must be